Surprise, surprise, surprise guest here tonight. Hi, you guys. Welcome. Hi, Jolene. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to our live tonight here. Hey, everybody. It is just me tonight. Well, Cindy is on the other side of the screen. So say hi.
Hello, everybody.
If you can hear her. So Cindy's on the other side of the screen, joining us from afar. And I think Jay is going to join us on here. Hey, Cliff. Hey, Carrie. Hey, Michael. Yeah. Oh, you got your Mackinac tour packet. Love it. We can't wait to go. It's just in a couple of weeks. Welcome to Tour Tuesday tonight, you guys. I am brimming with energy and exhaustion, kind of like a two-parter. We filmed a ton of content today with our XPM marketing team, which was so fun. Can't wait to get that content out to you guys. Signed some contracts for some brand new trips that will be up on the website pretty soon. I'm going to work on getting them up there tonight, so look for that. And also, I put the final finishing touches on our Australia and New Zealand trip today. And you guys, it is out of this world. So so excited to share that with you guys tonight. So hey, Todd, welcome back from your weeks of travel. Can't wait to chat with you. I can't wait to hear all about it. Hey, Karen. Hey, Kay. Hey, Darlene. Hey, guys. So tonight, some great stuff. We have finally, now that April is ending, May is coming up. We are in our massive busy season. From now until the end of November, there are trips going all the time, which is amazing. So the office is popping. The phones are ringing. People are coming in and out. We had a guest show up at the office today, which is always so exciting. And so many changes happening and team growing every single day. And that really invigorates me. But not only that, there's so much tour planning happening because all these trips are going out and coming back that it's also exhausting, but in the best way. So we had 3 trips go out and come back this week. So Friday, we had the Missouri Star Quilting Tour, which was so fun, brand new, was kind of like a fam trip or a familiarization trip for our guests. And they went down to, was it Hamilton?
Yes.
Yeah, they went down to Hamilton, Missouri, and got to go to tons of quilt shops, got to go to a festival, got a private tour of the coolest quilts I've ever seen, got massive bags that they could go through these shops. And Pat and Judy from our office went, and they said that they just filled bags with free scraps of quilting material. Quilting is not my ministry, but I think it's beautiful. I just can't do it. So that was really exciting. Carrie had a great time. Her and Pat led the trip and just had so much fun. So that was a great trip, a one day that went down and back on Friday. And then Saturday, woke up really early and got back really late. Alyssa and one of our new guides, Mitch, took the Mystery Number 5 tour. And I can't give too much away, because we repeat it every year. But they had an amazing time and got back real late at night. But it was filled with such good stuff. And Alyssa even threw in a couple extra things for everyone to do along the way that they loved. So that was really exciting. And then this morning, bright and early, Kentucky Derby left with Paige. So we had a group from Valentine come down last night, and then everyone else departed today. And they are, where are they today? Going to?
They're in
Evanston, in Indiana. So they're having a great time, and I cannot wait to see pictures of all their hats and their outfits and listen to the bedding. It's going to be awesome. So we can't wait to share that with you when they arrive home. And then Todd is down at Cornerstone in St. Louis, and he let us know that their groups just came back from 2 weeks of travel in Sedona, their spring mystery tour, and the Missouri Azaleas. Beautiful. Love that. And I think, are you going to California again too, Todd? I might be making that up. But he's leading all those trips out of St. Louis, which is exciting too, as our family and travel tribe continues to grow, which is great. Hey, Jane, Carrie, Debbie, Jerry, Tom. Hey, guys. Welcome. So tonight, you all know I love to yap, and I will yap at all of you forever if you don't cut me off. But tonight, we are going to spend this entire time going over Australia and New Zealand. And the reason we're going to spend that time is because if you see, it is a 21-day tour. So it is a long tour and it is out of control. It is amazing. I cannot wait to go. I worked really hard on putting this tour together and then ended up connecting with some vendors and tour operators over in Australia and New Zealand who are just incredible women. And they helped me put together even more and add even more to the trip to make it truly unforgettable and one of a kind. So I'm going to go through with you guys tonight. If you downloaded the brochure yesterday or anytime before that, I actually made all the updates this afternoon because we were able to finalize some stuff with our counterparts in Australia and New Zealand. So we were able to finalize those today, and now we have a brand new finalized updated brochure. So if you're like, oh my gosh, I want to see all the updates, if you download that from our We Travel site now, it is all updated and ready to go, and that's what we're going to go through tonight. It is going to be unreal. So, hey Taylor, hey Jay, welcome. And I think Cindy's on there too. Hey, okay, so 21 days, it's March 1st to the 21st. And what's really interesting about our Australia and New Zealand trip is we are the only tour company in the Midwest that we know of that does 3 nights on the GAN train, which takes you through the entire outback north to south of Australia. And we do Australia and New Zealand, which is unique because a lot of times tour companies will do either or. So that makes it a little bit unique. And then the experiences we have are very private and very interesting and very rich in culture, which we love. So how this trip is going to start. Days 1 and 2. Here's the deal. You are not on a plane for 2 days, but it is 2 days of travel because we cross the international date and timeline. So a day gets added in time as we go. So days 1 and 2, we're really setting aside to fly to Australia. And I see that Denise Zach joined us and she signed up. So her and the other Denise are both signed up already, and it's going to be unreal. So that is what the first 2 days are, is getting to Australia, and we fly into Melbourne. Okay. And then we stay in Melbourne for a couple of nights after that. So once we arrive in Melbourne, we're going to kind of hit the ground running. We'll check into the hotel, get a little bit of rest, and then we're going to go on a guided tour on day 3. We're going to go through a guided tour of downtown Melbourne. We're going to see the botanical gardens. We're going to see the famous churches and buildings. It is a huge city that we will get to traipse around and learn from a local guide. So that's kind of what that first day will be when we arrive, which is technically day 3 on the itinerary. And that night we'll have a welcome dinner. I'm sure we will all be exhausted from all the time changes and everything, but it'll be a good time to eat, rest, and then we're hitting the ground running. So day 4, that day is going to be fully focused on wine and landscapes. Okay. So day 4 on March 4th, we are going to spend the entire day in the Yarra Valley. And I believe that that includes 4 different wineries and then a private lunch that is a 2 to 3 course lunch with wine pairings that overlooks the valley. Unreal. So you spend the whole day there, you go to little shops and little boutiques, have a nice lunch, and then you head back and you have the whole evening in Melbourne to explore after that. Day 5, that is where we wake up. We have breakfast at our hotel in Melbourne, and then we have a private shuttle to the airport. We hop on our Qantas flight, and we fly from Melbourne all the way up to Cairns. So that's kind of where some of the stuff changes. Like, we are still going to all the same cities and towns as the first itinerary. They just might be in a little bit of a different order. So when we fly to Cairns, we will get there around noon because we already have the flights all squared away, which is awesome. We'll get there around noon. We'll have a private transfer that takes us to our hotel. And then you'll have the whole afternoon and evening to explore Cairns on your own. And I believe I have a picture. This is the hotel that we stay at when we are in Cairns. So it is right on the harbor. And if any of you know anything about Cairns, that is where the Great Barrier Reef is. So it is stunning. We will stay right on the shore, and you'll have time to explore the city around you that night. And you'll want to get a good night's sleep because the next day on day 6, we spend 9 hours exploring the Great Barrier Reef. And what is super unique about this one, I'm really excited, is the company that we're going with is run by marine biologists. So the whole day you'll get on the boat in the morning, you have high tea in the morning and in the afternoon, and you have a guided marine biologist tour of the Great Barrier Reef all day. You have a tropical buffet lunch while you're on there. And then while you're on there, here are all the things that you have access to. I have to read it directly from here because it's unreal. So while you're on there, you will have access to snorkeling equipment, lycra suits, a semi-submersible you can get on to get underwater without getting wet and go and explore the Great Barrier Reef. You have the marine biologists, and you can also, if you are certified in scuba diving, you can scuba dive. If you're a beginner, you can go down with another instructor, and that is all included. So any sort of water activity you'd want to do and learn from, it's included on that trip. And it's done by a marine biologist all day, which is so cool. So you can ask any question that you need, and it'll just be beautiful on this huge boat with all these activities. Unreal. So the best way to see the Great Barrier Reef, and we're out there all day. So bring your sunscreen and water because it will be warm. So that is day number 6. Sorry, I'm moving really, really fast, but it's just a long trip and I'm so excited if you can't tell. And we had some other people join us. Hey, Mark. Hi, Nene and Sharon. Hey, guys. Thank you, Patty. You're very sweet. Hey, Steph. So that is the big exploration of cairns by the sea. And then day 7 is exploring cairns by the rainforest. So you kind of get both ends of the spectrum there. And what will happen there is we will go on another all-day excursion. So 2 long days, but incredible. And on that day, we are going to do a rainforest train. We now have a gondola included in this where you go up into the rainforest to get to the train by gondola. You get to visit a crocodile, koala, and wildlife park. And you get to go on what's called a Dreamtime walk through the rainforest that is led by Aboriginal people who will tell you the history of the nature and the lands for their people, which is really, really cool. And that one is an all-day activity as well after breakfast and then exploring the rainforest. So really cool way to kind of see and experience cairns. You get a day where you have free time, you get a day on the reef, and you get a day in the rainforest. So you really are hitting everything that cairns could possibly have to offer, which would be amazing. Okay. And then on day 8, we're saying goodbye to cairns, which is we flew to Melbourne down here. We're up here in cairns. And now our next step is we're just going directly across the country to Darwin. So we'll get up, we'll have breakfast, and then our flights there as well are early, like at 11 a.m. and we get there by noon. We will fly to Darwin. And what's nice about that day on day 8, once we get to Darwin and we check into our hotel, this is kind of some of the views from the hotel that we'll be staying in Darwin as well. Once you get there, check in, and then you have the rest of the afternoon to relax and explore the city. And what we really wanted to do, because that'll be day 8 of travel and all the time changes and everything, we really wanted the afternoon of day 8 and all day on day 9 to relax, because it'll be right in the middle of the trip. We did a lot of traveling. We're going to be tired. And Darwin is very beautiful. It's a coastal town, but feels a little bit smaller, a little more relaxed. And you have a full free day built in there to explore at your leisure. We have some like sunset dinner cruises planned if you would like to add that on as an optional excursion in Darwin, which would be beautiful. There's helicopter rides. There's scenic floats. There's crocodile parks. There's tons to do in Darwin. If you want to add that on, we're happy to help you. But we really wanted to build in some time where there was a little bit of relaxation. That was some feedback that I got. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, absolutely. So right in the middle, a full day to relax in Darwin. And that's great because after day 9 on day 10, which is March 10th, that is where we're going to embark on our GAN journey, or our GAN journey. They corrected me. It's GAN. And this is what the GAN train looks like. I'm going to put this up here. So this is what the GAN train looks like. And how this works is we're up here in Darwin. We are going to get on the train and we will be on there for 3 nights and 4 days, going from Darwin at the top of Australia all the way through the outback to Adelaide, which is at the bottom of the outback. So we like traverse the middle west of Australia, right through the middle from top to bottom. Insane. And we do it on this GAN train here. And this is what the cabins can look like inside. So if you have 2 people to a cabin, this is what it looks like at night. They do turn down service every night where they come and put the beds down and put the sheets on the bed and everything for you. And during the day, the top part folds up, and then you have a nice bench in there and table, and then an ensuite little toilet and shower and sink. So absolutely incredible. It is a must do when you're in Australia. Every person I've talked to has said, like, you have to do the GAN. It's incredible. It's a great way to see the outback without having to drive out there, which would take a very long time. So on day 10, we get on the GAN. We check in. We have our own little area at the check-in station. What's that called? Train station, where we'll have brunch and drinks. And then you get onto the train and we take off. And all the days that we're on the train, it includes our breakfast, lunch, and dinner as well, which is awesome. And they have their own dining carts. They have their own bar carts, and all of the excursions, apart from helicopter rides, are included. And you get to choose which excursions you want to do based on the time of year, which is amazing. So that first day we get on in Darwin and we're going to start heading south. Okay. And while we are on there, we'll have chef inspired meals, and we will stop and have a dinner overlooking the outback together. Insane. This is what one of the dinner stops looks like, just to give you an idea. Like just right in the middle of the outback, under the stars. Some of the best barbecue they said they've ever had. Just absolutely gorgeous. And you all get off the train and do that together. And then you hop back on and you keep traveling. Okay. And you move throughout the night. And then on day 11, what will happen is you'll wake up and you'll be in Alice Springs. Alice Springs is kind of like right in the center of the outback. And that is where, oh my gosh, I'm totally blanking on the name, but that's where the giant red rock is. That is very quintessential Australia, very beautiful of the outback. That is where that is. And there is a lot of history with, I'm totally blanking in my mind. There is a lot of history with movement throughout of Aboriginal people, immigrants to Australia. It is where like the telegraph first started in Australia. So lots and lots and lots of history. It's so, so beautiful. And so while we're in Alice Springs, you'll be able to get off the train and you get to go do all of your activities and excursions you've signed up for that day. And like I said, there'll be more information on that. Like when we get on the train, you get to choose what you want to do. And one of the things that you can do is you can get off the train and go eat in a cave. Like you can eat lunch in a cave. You can do nature walks, all sorts of stuff. There's camel rides, anything you can want to do. And then that night, we all eat together at the telegraph station under the stars. And you get to see the giant red rocks and everything illuminated at night. Beautiful. Okay. Then you get back on the train, sleep, keep traveling south. And on day 12, which is March 12th, we get to the town of Coober Pedy. And that's a town where it's very hot, right in the center of the desert. So all of the homes and everything are built underground or into the ground. So you get to go off and do your excursions through there. You get to shop, you get to eat. Very, 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 very cool. Okay, and then that night is our last night on the train before we end in Adelaide. So there are puppies in the background, if you can see them, my babies, my little babies coming to join us. Okay. And then day 13, on March 13th, we wake up, we have brunch on the train, and then it takes us to the station in Adelaide. Our private transportation picks us up and takes us to our hotel in Adelaide, and you have the whole evening in Adelaide to relax and explore. So another time for you to kind of relax, get your bearings after lots of movement. I will probably go right to sleep. And Adelaide is very, very pretty as well. And it is one of the biggest cities in the like traditional outback too. So you'll have the evening to spend at your leisure. And then day 14, that is where we're going to have a guided tour of Adelaide. And this is highly influenced by the Germans. Adelaide is. So they have this town called Handorf. It's like a traditional German village, middle of the outback. of Australia. How interesting. And we will go up and we will go to Handorf, and you'll have time to kind of explore the shops, go shopping, sightseeing, things like that. And then you will go to a cider shop and a water mill and a beer tasting in the middle of Handorf at some historic buildings there. So Handorf will be a day. It's a little half-day tour. Grab lunch, shop, enjoy some traditional German beer, and then head back to Adelaide for a dinner with the group and sleeping before we head to our next destination. Okay, so that'll be our final night in Adelaide together. And then in the morning, we'll wake up, have breakfast, and we'll get on our private shuttle to the airport, and we're flying to Sydney, which is our last stop in Australia. So once we get to Sydney, it was really important to us there as well. Previously, we had the third day in Sydney be the free day, but we're changing that around, and this first day in Sydney is going to be the free day. So our flights will get in there around noon, so right around lunchtime. We'll get to our hotel, and then you will have the whole afternoon and evening to spend as you please. I know that like Phantom of the Opera is playing at the Sydney Opera House. Say less, I will be there. So there's lots going on there. Tons to do in Sydney. You know, one of the biggest cities, beautiful. Think of the iconic Opera House, the bridges. Lots of things to do. So that afternoon and evening will be completely as you would like to spend it. So another little free day in the city that we're in. And then in the morning, what we will do, we'll do on the 16th, on day 16, is we will do a two-parter. We're going to have the first part of the day is going to be a guided tour of Sydney that ends at Bondi Beach. Do a little beach relaxing before we head back to the hotel. And then that night will be the iconic glass-boated Sydney Harbor cruise, a sunset dinner cruise through the harbor, which is iconic. So you cruise past the Opera House, you cruise past all the sites, 3-course dinner, absolutely incredible. And that will kind of close up our time in Sydney and in Australia together on a beautiful sunset cruise, okay? And then day 17 through the end of our trip is going to be our time in New Zealand. You might see an email that says like the Kiwi people. So, people in New Zealand will refer to themselves as Kiwis, and I definitely need to do more research on that. But New Zealand and Australia, very similar, but very different. I always think I love Lord of the Rings, big Lord of the Rings fan. And that is where they filmed all those movies. It is beautiful, and there are so many different climates and weather patterns throughout New Zealand. And we will get to see them all. We are going to travel the pretty much half of the west coast of New Zealand, which will be absolutely amazing. My dog is being naughty behind me, as you can see. I'm so sorry. So we'll wake up on the morning, the 17th, have breakfast, get on our morning flight from Sydney to Queenstown, New Zealand. Okay. And that day we will go directly to our hotel in New Zealand. Oh, I thought I had a picture in here of it, but I do not. I lied to myself. And then same thing as before. We want to make sure that there is free time built into almost every city that we go to. You will have the rest of the afternoon and evening to spend in Queenstown and enjoy. Okay. And then the next day, you definitely will want to sleep on the night of the 17th because day 18 is an unforgettable experience and it is a long day. We will drive down to Milford Sound, go on a lake cruise of Milford Sound, which is like fjords. Let me see if I have some pictures on here of Milford Sound. Oh my gosh, I did not add it. Similar, looks kind of like this, okay? But we will do a boat cruise, and then instead of taking the shuttle back to Queenstown, we will be on a chartered plane back. So how unique. So we will drive down through all the landscapes. It'll be beautiful. Then we'll take a boat tour through the fjords and see everything. And then we have a private transfer and we get on a small plane to go back to Queenstown for the night. So you'll see Milford Sound and you'll want to look it up because it's incredible. It's very, very beautiful. You'll see it by land, sea, and air. So that is a very, very unique experience that we did not have in our original itinerary. So that will be absolutely beautiful. And then day 19 is what is one of the biggest changes from our first itinerary to this one. And I think it is adding an absolute 4 or 5 star addition here. So what we are going to do then to travel up the coast, we will go from Queenstown on day 19, and we will drive up to a town called Franz Joseph. And if you don't know what that is, it is one of only, I think it's like less than 5 in the world where a glacier runs into a rainforest. So we stay in the valley of that glacier. So Franz Joseph is unreal, very, very beautiful, and is an addition that we didn't have before. And when we get to Franz Joseph, I mean, it is so rare and so beautiful. You will have time to explore around there, and our hotel is right there in the glacier and right on the middle of Main Street. And it's very small, very quaint, very relaxing, very beautiful. And I'm so excited that our partners in New Zealand were able to get us in there, because that was not a plan originally. So I'm very, very excited to have added that in. I think it's really going to add a little, a little something to the trip. So definitely check that out. And then instead of flying to Christchurch from Queenstown, we are actually going on day 20, our last full day in New Zealand. We will get on the Transalpine Railroad in just north of Franz Joseph in a place called Greymouth. We'll get on there around lunchtime, and we will get on the train, and we will spend the rest of the day on the train going from Greymouth through the most amazing terrain. I mean, here is what some of the terrain is that you go through. You will hit snow, you'll hit water, you'll hit the sea, you will hit everything. Think any panoramic shot in a Lord of the Rings film. You will go through there. This is what the train looks like that we go on, the Transalpine train. It is noted as one of the most beautiful trains on earth. And we will go the rest of the way, all the way up to Christchurch, New Zealand. And then we will have a private shuttle that picks us up from the train station, takes us to our hotel, and we have a 3-course dinner at the hotel that overlooks Christchurch, which is insane. And we eat together and just really reflect on how incredible this trip was. And then we stay the night there. And on day 21, which is March 21st, we have some time to eat breakfast and kind of putz around in Christchurch, which is beautiful, before we go to the airport and we get on our plane and we head back home. I know that's a lot of talking of me going through each day. There's paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs of everything that we're doing. And, you can only put it in a little snippet on the brochure. But I have been so humbled putting this trip together, and it is going to be insane. And I cannot wait to take the trip. Like I said, it's March 1st to the 21st of next year. We already are about half sold out on it. So if you want to get onto the trip, now is the time. The single occupancies are incredibly limited, especially on the GAN train. So I've requested a few more of those, but double occupancy is where it is at. And round trip flights from the United States are included. All of the activities I mentioned are included. There are 32 meals included. And then within Australia and 2 New Zealand flights are also included. So it is going to be stunning. It is definitely worth the price tag. If you are interested, let me tell you what it is. It is $13,600 per person for double occupancy, $15,536 for single occupancy, with tons of things included in here. So it is going to be an unreal trip.
Didn't she do a great job?
I am very, very, very excited. She came in out of it, appeared. So yeah, a bucket list trip for sure, Steph. I am absolutely with you. My husband commented too. It's very sweet. Thank you, dear. Right there. Oh. So if you're interested in joining us in Australia and New Zealand this year, we can send you the brochure. You can download the brochure. It is going quick. So if you want to get on it, now is the time. And the group that is going so far is so fun. And I cannot wait to go on it.
Can't wait to travel with you.
Yeah, the 13-hour flight might be, that's the hardest part, I think. But you just got to take a melatonin and you'll be fine, So let us know if you have questions, comments, concerns. and we'd be happy to put you on there. Can't believe it's 8 o'clock and just me yapping away. So anything to add before we say
Nope.
goodbye?
Thank you for watching this week. We'll see you next week.
Yes,
Bye-bye.
thanks so much, you guys. Bye-bye.